Within days, they had surrendered. But the rebel barons weren't done yet. Their ally, Prince Louis of France, had sent an invasion force to help the barons overthrow King John. Then, in late 1216, the king fell ill with dysentery and died. His son, just 9 years old, was crowned King Henry III. It was now up to the young king's regent, the 70-year-old legendary knight William Marshal, to protect the crown. He faced a near impossible challenge. England was crumbling. Rebels were taking town after town. But William Marshal bided his time and prepared to defeat the rebels. Then in May 1217, he got the chance that he'd been waiting for. William discovered that the rebels planned to simultaneously besiege both Dover Castle and Lincoln Castle. With rebel forces split and weakened, William Marshal led his royalist army to Lincoln. The castle on one side of the city was still controlled by royalists, under its formidable constable, Lady Nicola de la Haye. But the streets of the city were under rebel control. On May 20th, 1217, the Royalist Relief Force, led by William Marshal, arrived to retake the rebel-controlled city. The future of England rode on the success of this mission. Troops loyal to the king held the castle at Lincoln, while outside, rebels controlled the city. The defenders had to hold the castle until reinforcements arrived, under the command of the king's knight, William Marshal.
We are ready to Harken steden. We haven't stayed, it's beyond that. NgDinhNha. I think they listed. Ik wil weer dit aan voor zij. Whatever it all stayed done.
Gammal Micke! Till så har säljat!
Zoveel te doen, meneer Warmes.
Richard, meneer Warmes!
Ziet de hestes.
Dresset ja bij ons liefelijk.
Ziet de hestes. Harken het aan.
Hestes cometh, Arwemen. Steppeth to it, Arwemen. Boa, it have me but.
Tempest, alunga nu, ferret. We are going the Tulkas.
De schule doet het. Ziet het ver ute, every chan. Ik wil do that nu.
Men av ansesjonen.
Every yeah, sweet head.
What will you for blood verreste oerende? Men av armes. Avoid it!
Hervegan, Weben Gangande.
Men av armes! Weben verrende uta!
Harken, Sterithu.
Aim it low, crossbows. Be killed.
It is the sweet get toothbop.
Born to hear it.
Say of God to haste this toothbop.
What wilt thou? The way is clear.
Men av armes!
Ich me born to hear. Thy will be done. Holiness,
Övrigt
din Hester. Something to Shetton.
Sees the hastes.
I think they missed her.
Men av armes! Travail to dawn! Spring down! At the ready! Here and they hesta!
Each here. Ferende, so ahead.
Two turns, seat they to Baron. Port Ferret! Straw Knackers!
Sees the I think they listed. Staring.
Everything is any other! We have a here Understood!
Din virtue guide us well.
Unche, sit them to Baron!
The king's men discovered a building belonging to the rebels. To secure Lincoln, they would need to destroy the rebels' military structures.
Hey, every Sterithu, every chan.
Uche fatta dines! Here we go! We get the Every chanyada! Men av armes! Weben verrende uta! Uchover veires! Et stor kjærlighet! Verreste ordende! Men av armes!
Attendeth no, Tolkes. Place it yourself.
Harkeneth all.
The King's Knight, William Marshal, arrived with his forces. While a hard battle remained, There was now hope for the young king's army.
Aim it low, crossbowers!
Obeisance is Arne Athu.
NgDinhNha!
William Marshall's forces were welcomed in Stowe, a nearby town loyal to the king.
He'll do that now. Yeah, so is the hater. He'll do it after day. Men of arms, have eaten! Alita, what need is worker? You then did that right to know. Equal have that he builds them and done.
Alle knites jaar for Arneth mes knites. Athel kletetus riden knites.
Men of armes, weapon verende ut.
Nu, Tulkes, setet ja forth warde frekkes. Mit baldenes. I shall lede.
They are Sweden, they are Fjordende!
I shall lede jou! Today's number day!
Sometimes, and then to serve alle Sweden! God's sweet could have been made.
And Arne to hear it!
Build children!
Knites standende
For honor, Gritas!
Knites! Alle knites!
Ich liebe zu hören! Sankas!
Utride nur, Tulkes! At mina worde fen.
After 2 days, number dead! Let us read the Gritas! In Gritas, stand in the yard! Alle knites! Utride now, after Tulkes! Crossbows yard! Alunga nu! Ferret! Gritas!
At mina worde!
Alle Sweden!
Jettet utrideth nu, Tulkes.
Niemand är så mycket allvar! Heads they're ready! Send them in! Högsta schulen vi här! Move it! Björnes, ja! Shetendek! Lite stämning där! Fus, ja, vi kan gande! Appelt for warde fräcket
To seek the for aftest.
The king's men tore through the rebel fortifications, diminishing the enemy's military presence.
Weapons, jada! Forth!
Lukka jou bij het at mina worde.
Keep it good, fettle, Knitas! Keep it good, fettle, Knitas!
It's living.
It shall lay the yow!
The castle now faced a new attack from the rebels' French allies.
Knitas! Let us read it, Knitas! For honor, Knitas! Adresset, jou, Arwaymen! Yahweh, Shatan! Up there, Bennett, Arwaymen! Sitta hästen, jag rände till hästen. Hästes är något på mig. Upp ner fjärde, hästes.
It is seat readeth nu, Tulkes.
Get there ready, crossbowers. Here it comes. Shoulder and crossbow.
Lukka jou bij het ready, frekkes.
And then they mean a man.
If the king's men hoped to lift the French siege, they would need to destroy the enemy forts on the outskirts of Lincoln.
Send them in. Tulkes.
Fuse, dein Hestes! Obeisance Arne to hear it!
Knights stand in the yard! Pretender hand! Alle Vorderfreckes mit Baldenes!
Spirit not here. See they to work.
Every charm and tendeth. Build end day that reach anew.
Nu, Tulken.
It's live to hear into the sun!
The king's army had almost regained control of the city.
At me no wonder! It's live to hear them! Alle sitten! Arthur Knights! Knights! Und Ritter, thou Arthur Tulkes!
See they to work for end day sue ahead. It kill Harita.
Harkeneth alla. Till then they that break the new.
Yare to don some worker.
Knights for Vorderfreckes mit Baldenes!
See they to holst it down. You go build they that for they.
Harita, what needeth worker?
Ich bin virtue.
Get thee ready for Hestes. Fourth Vorderfreckes mit Baldenes. Duces Namborden.
What will
Niemand nicht so much onwards! Alle Knights, ja! Arthur Knights, ja!
What will me way is clear.
After a sustained assault on the castle walls, enemy forces broke through and threatened the heart of the stronghold.
He shall lay the young. Alle
Crossbow. Yeah. And
It is certes. Certes.
Arita. What needed? Yeah.
Sweden by oss sig attended!
For they.
The king's army razed the last of the rebels' military buildings, but the French siege continued.
Look how be it ready, Frecken. Dute is none borden.
Boa is Iboon. Crossbows, yeah.
Where we got the crossbow. Get it, alle smith. Spill a third of foemen.
Niemand nicht so much onwards!
Be of yard to hest. I think they lister. Wuda is noteful matera.
Safe to Hestes. Where have on stand as bay on at? Flocket stareth uta every chan, holdeth at onsa. Every charn intended. If he'll build a that for you.
Nu, Tulkes, setteth young.
What needeth be undone? Ekel habe that he building and on.
Knitas, stand in the yard!
Vakat Yara, mi fremen.
What needeth be unseen?
Yari!
What needeth be undone? You're right to done some work, eh?
Yet andente to serve. It's libe to hear. At mina worda fera.
Every John, intended. All stick down.
Look a jou be it ready, frekke.
Dresseth yo! We are scared!
Seeth the Hestes.
Agretes for Hester.
Arita, what needeth ye can do that no?
It is Sither for Actus. Dute is none.
Every chan Yara.
Hester shula be headed.
Seeth to Hestes. Seeth they to fair and out and every chan. If you're happy that you're building or not.
Harkeneth alla, sith et fernude.
Nu, tot readeth nu, Tulkis.
Harkeneth alla, irende DinhNha. Then they that rate and build they that for that. Eagle haveth that he build them and on. See they to work irende DinhNha. Eagle build they that for they.
Look jou be it ready, Freckes. Fourth warde Freckes. Baldenes. Fourth warde Freckes. Mit Baldenes. At mina worde ferreth. I shall lede jou. Ich libe to hearen.
See they to worker.
Tot readeth nu.
Sweden may of Sjötende! Alla Kenites Jarl! Alla Kenites Jarl! Weapons ready! On fire!
This be boon to him. What wilt thou?
Sith yea, and so it they hated. Then they that rate and
Who's it? Alles with Cretus.
Ut reader!
Get it certus. At mina worde ferreth. And are to hear.
You ready for the next Harken? Yeah. I under yet to me hestes. Baron Rita at Donster. Ne darkness. Harken jou alla.
Harken to stirren men. We're thinking on the Ishal Milal Freckes. We will have hestes and on read. The heste is jefen. Fourth word. They're hiding at the back. We have a heavy call.
The king's men uncovered one of the French forces' siege camps near Lincoln.
Fourth word. They're hiding at the back.
Commandant, as steering, the way shall heated and bay be heeded with.
Nites fude for glory! I kama, Nites is ready for commanders! Den Ursaton is fairly!
Come on, friends! Let us forth steer us! The friends, let us forth down! The friends, let us forth down! A part of us of great reasoness. So will he.
Nitas, is ready for command. Get his teeth.
Well, Nites have the ready! Io bear be the left! And honor to don that!
Nu heste is here.
Nites, shoot to Nites! For well, Nites have the left!
Stirren men.
Sergeants and armies! For well! They're hiding at the back!
And ten here are the Hester. Hester's coming for us, raiding forth and on.
Intendant, ich kill Folianti Hestes. He bore way that this is he builded and he builded well. Building to put an upper.
and the rest for the Shrewd. Ready to go.
What needest thou? Ah, Rita. Ich held the Suethay commander. He bore weight, nan
Hearken, you all. We have a test.
Yeah, he ready for Hest.
Hearken up.
Harken alla.
Yeah. Building to put it up, huh? Go people get this building and build it for me.
Labor good work.
Arm is still cake.
Late.
Ready to go.
Freckes, we will have in Hestes and on Rit.
Glory, your Hester shall be obeyed. We ferren again, me duty sergeants at arms.
We can't feign mid that.
No! We not gonna be us under the hand with us! You ready for the next worker on the roller? This ruid. Ready to go. And the step for this. You're as well as me data. Looking forward to working in the water. You ready for the Arita? Equal to Suet they come on. He bore way that this is he built it, and he built it well. Yeah? What day is thou moving? Oh, me shankers. Yeah, you ready for Hestes?
Hearken to Hestes, young men.
Intended. Erin out at ons, night after night. Yeah, doing hitting on. Building to put it up. Building to put it up. Arm is still gay, cool what he can doing.
We have an Hestes coming on over.
Guardway to fit me weapon. We are moving. Sneak!
Elder Finger.
What Hestes?
Chivalry, out ready, out on.
With a ship, the saddle, and rich heifer. Read us so you can read a call. So happen. Sneakers, food, and glory. They kill a baby. Sneakers, you ready for this? Stay still. Meet them stars now. They're taking on the spoil. Ronke over, I'll bring it day. Onto the battle, readers. Into the Brachiosaurus! Where is the Ricker and your scores? When Nietzsche's are you ready for stood?
No, young men. Your company will be welcome, Freckes. Fort welcome. They hiding at the back. Hestes yet.
We are obeying his orders!
Freckes,
Obey, unreadable!
stirred and men, sinking on the spoil.
Hearken alla. We have an name. Let us spare a note.
Hearken to Hestes. Your company will be welcome, Freckes. Your company will be welcome, Freckes.
We are taking the Brachiosaurus! Nietzsche! Forcesoni bandits! Are you ready for Nietzsche? For vengeance is me honor! Nietzsche, are you ready for commandant? Your company will be well. Nietzsche! Forcesoni fairly! Well, Nietzsche, are you ready for stood? Nietzsche, ready for command, Nietzsche! Food for glory! Nietzsche, ready for commanders! Well, Nietzsche, are you ready for stood? Your company will be welcome, Freckes!
We hunger for the axe.
The king's army tore through the French fort, weakening the enemy siege.
The lanes are ready and awaiting Morris Winkin. He bore away that this is he built it, and he built it well.
New young men, stirring men, be thinking on the spoil.
I obey and reader forth.
Look, we are ferret from and loose.
In a league of the exota. Fingers always
Glory
reckless.
and see await the top. Intended, yea. We're standing yard to command.
Arwe Hestes
Yeah. Lisa Johnson has done defeat. Sergeant Sedan, are we men? Yemen and air, are we men? We move the glory of waiting.
Ali said, ik wil op
Niet ten Portwell! Nee, hij ging naast de wachten!
With a short reader.
Niet is hij ready for commandant! Waar niet is hij ready for stool!
Crossbows at the ready. Sanu. Lusten for Hestes. Lusten in their ranches. Hestes.
Niet is goed in de gloren! Forse sword is fairly!
Intendant! You're aware what was
Hearken thou all. We have a equal volume the Hestes. He bore away that this is he built it, and he built it well.
Du hast de Hestes voor mij.
Niet is hij ready for commandant!
Into the saddle and into
Well, niet is hij ready for
chivalry. I'm ready on a die. Ali set. Ready for Hestes.
Yeah. You ready for Hestes?
Yeah, you're intended. Every John for an outer. For an outer at once, and I that the nest.
Niet is voeten voor glory! Well, niet is hij ready for stool! Skjutning av ord! Niet Iobea vidare! Iobea and Rino fort! Niet is hij ready! Push it! Honorary to donuts! Amen low from Nites Ursesonis! Nites! Und Rüden fort! Nites is ready for command! Crossbows at the ready! Nites footed for glory!
William Marshal and Nicolas de la Haye had saved the city, and with it, the kingdom. William Marshal's success in retaking Lincoln was an overwhelming victory for the Royalists. The rebel barons had been defeated, and their French allies driven out of England altogether. William Marshal now focused on creating a stable kingdom for the young King Henry III. To maintain the backing of the rebels, in 1217, a royal seal of approval was given to a reissued Magna Carta, limiting the power of the monarchy. Many barons held lands in both England and Normandy. But now they faced a choice. On which side of the Channel would they make their home? Many chose England. The cross-Channel kingdom was over, establishing a clear English identity. But the impact of the Normans on England's evolution is still felt today. Almost 1,000 years later, the surviving Norman castles and cathedrals still dominate the landscape. In the midst of the modern city, William the Conqueror's fortress, the Tower of London, remains a powerful reminder of their legacy. But it's the unseen influence of the Normans that endures. The Norman invasion changed the English language and established the foundations of modern parliament and governance. And it's all because one man, William the Conqueror, claimed the English crown that he believed by rights was his. The Normans conquered a country and changed the course of England forever. Some events leave a deep mark on history, but none on the land. This is the site of the Battle of Hastings. After almost 1,000 years, no traces of the bloody conflict can be seen. But here, the fate of England turned. It's where a king was killed, and his victor claimed the throne. October 14th, 1096. We know what happened here on this day, thanks to this. The Bayeux Tapestry. A carefully preserved illustrated record of events. It shows the main players. Harold, the newly crowned Anglo-Saxon King of England, and his challenger, William, Duke of Normandy. William claimed the previous king had promised him the crown. So, he assembled an army and prepared to sail to England to fight King Harold for the throne. But a storm thwarted his plans. Meanwhile, Harold discovered that a Viking invasion had landed in the north. Another threat to his crown. So he raced to fight them. In France, William waited for the right conditions to sail across the Channel to England. The weather cleared. He seized his chance. "250 miles north, Harold had defeated the Vikings. Now, hearing of William's arrival, his army sped south. At 9 o'clock in the morning, on this hill, William's Norman army were ready to do battle with Harold's Anglo-Saxon men. The stage was set, and up for grabs, England itself. On October 14th, 1066, William of Normandy stood ready for battle at the base of a hill. The high ground belonged to King Harold of England and his Anglo-Saxon army. Here, on this hilltop, the fate of England would be decided. William's Norman army made the first charge, launching a direct assault on the shield wall. Though William's army fought fiercely against the shield wall, it would not yield. As one man fell, another took his place. Overlapping shields in tight formation made for a near impenetrable barrier. Realizing his army could not break the shield wall, William called for a retreat. He aimed to lure the Anglo-Saxons into a false sense of victory, causing them to break formation. William's feigned retreat was working. The Anglo-Saxon army broke their shield wall formation, leaving gaps for William to make a move. With Harold's men no longer in shield wall formation, William could pick them off as they charged. The Anglo-Saxons had deployed rows of spearmen to push back the invaders. But William had an answer. His sharp-eyed archers. More Norman men-at-arms reinforced William's army. Anglo-Saxon archers joined the fray, and the Normans' deadly cavalry ready to charge. But first, William's forces had to eliminate the enemy spearmen, whose sturdy polearms could easily bring down a horse. With the threat of spearmen cleared from the field, William's cavalry was free to charge at the Anglo-Saxon archers. The Anglo-Saxon army was in disarray. Their shield wall had been neutralized, and their numbers were dwindling. Now the only thing standing between William and victory was King Harold himself. The last of Harold's men encircled their king, prepared to lay down their lives to save his. The Anglo-Saxon King Harold had fallen. In the confusion, some loyal soldiers fought to the death, while others scattered in panic. Leaderless and defeated, the last of the Anglo-Saxon army fled for their lives. The Normans celebrated victory over the English king, but William's quest to rule England was just beginning.